So in the last week, the last video I posted was a 7:30 cold start. I've been extremely busy doing things that don't necessarily, they don't need a video. Or there's at least, I don't think it would be a very exciting video. Plus I'm working by myself and I'm moving some stuff around. Basically I've spent the last couple of weeks off and on cleaning and basically just trying to get everything a little bit better organized. I got the 7:30 into the shop because it's a little warmer in here than it is out in the shed, since the front part of the shop here is heated. So this back here normally stays in the mid 20s, even when it's, 0 or below outside, it'll stay a little bit warmer in here. Normally the 4066 goes right here where the 7:30 is sitting, and that's where it will go. Eventually the 7:30 will transition over here where a lot of the garden tractors are at right now. That should give me enough space to work on the 7:30 this winter. On the docket for the 7:30, we're going to widen the wheels out. I've actually already done a little bit of that, and I'll show you. I did a little bit, mostly just to see if they would move. They will move, but they need some work. So I've actually put everything back together and put some penetrating oil on the gear and everything. So we'll come back to that here in a couple of weeks. But what we're going to do this winter is we're going to take the hood off, take the muffler and the air cleaner off. And basically we're going to take and we're going to drain the oil out. After we drain the oil, I'm going to pull this access cover similar to what I did on the 820. I did put all my 820 videos in a playlist. And so the first thing we're going to do is look down in the crankcase and see if there's anything in the bottom of the crankcase. So basically there's just this access cover right here. It's not nearly as big as the access cover that was on the 820. The 820 had a nice big access cover basically where you get your whole hand, part of your head down in there, really nice setup. We've got a couple oil leaks that we need to fix. I need to figure out where that's coming from. I think it's coming from that, but I don't know what that is. So, or it's coming from the bottom of the oil filter housing. One of the two, not really sure. I want to go through everything. Obviously, I think I showed the video. The cooling system works perfect. I actually took it out for a drive the other day and drove it for another about 2 miles. Got up to about 160 degrees. Not necessarily as warm as it could have been. But we're going to look at the front axle. Make sure the roll-matic works well. We'll jack it up and whatnot. I need to clean the oil bath air filter. Just take all that apart. I'll take all that when I get the hood off. I'll make sure the radiator's clean. The other day when I took it for a drive, I inspected the oil bath air cleaner, and evidently I didn't get it tight enough. And so about halfway through my drive, it dropped off. Fortunately caught on the frame, so I didn't run over it. And basically just covered this entire side of the 730 with oil. While we're at it, we'll go ahead and replace the fuel filters. We'll drain those, get those replaced. Now, one thing I did off camera is I've already had pulled this flywheel cover, and I have inspected the flywheel cover for it's loose, but it's not loose, so that's good. I'm trying to think of what else I have done off camera. Let's see here. I can't remember what else I've done. I don't think I've done much, but yeah, we'll get the wheels out. Like I said, I've already got them part of the way out. So we'll go ahead. I want to redo the lights because right now the lights aren't hooked up. So we'll get the lights hooked up. We'll make sure everything works. The battery box, I may replace the battery box because it actually has some rust in it. So we might replace that here pretty quickly. Maybe if the budget allows, rebuild the float ride seat. I need to, the outlets are leaking back here, so I'll adjust those. I need to add the sway bar, or the sway control. I can't remember what it's called. I need to add it on this side because that's what's missing. I'll go through the transaxle transmission, drain all the gear oil out of it. Drain the power troll, everything else, make sure all the fluids are good. I'll make sure the 3-point's working and everything, and we will kind of go from there. One of the things that I do want to do is I do want to replace the tires relatively soon because these tires are just, they're just not that great. And I also want to put a wide front on this thing, which I think I stated in my other video. This was kind of a spur of the moment purchase, just for the price. So, you know, it was one of those deals that it didn't have everything I wanted, but it had close to everything I wanted, and I figured I could add other things. So I do want to add a wide front, but right now the narrow front's perfectly fine. So we'll kind of go through all of that. I may take this winter, I may take the gauges off and send them out to be redone, because I do want working gauges on this thing. I don't know if I'll get that far, but that's something that will be in the near future. So that's what the plan is for the 730. I've got to take this machine apart. We've got to fix that 318 right there at some point in time. That's just a whole mess. The 332, I'm going to go ahead and put the 49 or the 47 blower on. I haven't decided yet. The X748 is actually going to move out to the shed for the winter, because the 1445, if it's not sold, is going to sit in here with the blower on it. So let's go up to the front half of the shop. So the front half of the shop, I have spent an extensive amount of time cleaning and everything. I don't know if it's still not clean. It's not perfectly clean. But it is much cleaner, and I will continue to work on it over the coming weeks, to basically get it to where my trucks need to park right here. And then I'm going to use this area right here to work on stuff in the winter. I think I have enough room right here. But basically, you know, I've spent a lot of time up here getting everything organized and whatnot. And I think we're getting a little bit closer to having it organized, and getting everything put away in its right spot. If you notice, the pile on the bench is a little bit cleaner than it has been. Tools are getting organized, things along those lines. So, but let's go out to the shed and I'll show you the big thing out there. So the big change is the addition of this. So last Thanksgiving, I put up that 48 feet of racking. So they're 8 foot tall, 4 foot wide, and there are 6 bays. So or 5 bays, sorry, 40 feet. Yeah, there's only 5 bays. Clearly can't count. So there are 5 bays there, and it's been very, very helpful. And I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet. I wasn't planning on putting up this side with pallet racking for another year, but my supplier of pallet racking, actually a friend, was working with him and basically told me, you probably need to get the last of the supply from the pre-pandemic before things just shoot through the roof. Basically, and this is one of my philosophies on pallet racking. I typically like to buy new pallet racking. I realize that you can get older stuff for a little bit cheaper, but you know, I go to enough auctions and stuff that pallet racking is never a good deal used, in my opinion. It's always weird. You're never going to be able to find enough to, you know, if you don't find enough to put it up right then, you're never going to find enough later to finish it out. So you're going to have mix and match. It's dented, it's rusted. You know, do you really dented pallet racking is not going to have nearly the capacity that other you know, undented or fresh pallet racking is going to have. Plus, I can go ahead and get the wire decking and everything else. So basically, all 5 bays there, 8 feet tall, 4 feet wide, with the wire decks and the cross brace or the beams. Each bay has a capacity of something stupid like 20,000 pounds, 18,000 pounds, something like that. All of that was about $2,000. Actually, it was like $1,980, I think, after tax. So it's one of those deals that, you know, I don't think you can buy it used for that, and you're certainly not going to get that kind of price anymore. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought it and put it up over the last couple days. If you look back in the early part of this video, There were some green parts sitting there. One of the things that I'm waiting on before I put anything on the top shelf, because I got done with this the other night at about 9 o'clock, 9:30, and I was just ready to be done, but I haven't leveled it yet. So those green things earlier, if you saw them there in the video, those are the shims for the feet to level them out front to back. Well, I'll put those in here in the next couple days once the paint's dry. It's just a matter of taking the stuff off the rack and then using a jack and basically jacking it up and then sliding them underneath there. Eventually I will bolt these to the floor. I got a couple things I want to check on, and I have the bolts for that side as well, but I have not bolted that side to the floor either. But I got a couple things I want to check on. I make sure that it's in the position that I want. Basically, the two sides match up to exactly what I wanted them to look like. Naturally, I tried to do this on the coldest day of the year, and so far, and nothing cranked. Absolutely nothing cranked. I think one round fender cranked. The 400 wouldn't even crank, and I think the 400 has a spark problem. So I don't know what was wrong with the 400. 400 wouldn't crank. The Toro barely cranked. I really need to do something with the Toro. The only machine that cranked with just basically a jump was the 140. That machine has always been incredible. It's just like a little workhorse. It does everything that I have always asked it to do. That's why I love it. But that's where we're at, and that's kind of some of the stuff, what I've been up to. Like I said, not all that exciting. I was going to do a video of me putting up the pallet racking, but it would have been a time-lapse video, and basically I spent about 7 hours out here trying to get that pallet racking up and trying to start machines, and so I don't think it would have been very exciting. But basically, that's really going to help organize everything. Obviously, I've got a lot of stuff I need to go through, a lot of parts I need to go through. You know, I'm actually going to try to sell a bunch of stuff coming up here pretty quick. I still need to try out the Buford bucket here. I did get this 110 running right here, so that's pretty exciting. I was excited about that. So that's the all original 67 with the air compressor on it with the replaced tank. So I was very excited to get that running. I'm not sure why it's all the way down on the ground, but that's either here or there. So I think that's going to wrap up this video. Kind of at least tells you what I've been up to a little bit. I do have one more thing outside that I'll show you. Actually, two more things, but it is kind of windy, so I'm going to just kind of stand here in the door. I do have a little bit more racking to put up. I went ahead and got some 2-foot wide racking, and then I got there are 6 6-foot wide beams and then 4 9-foot wide beams. And I haven't decided if I'm going to put that in this building or if I'm going to put it in the shed up there and kind of see what I want to do. And then also the other day, and I'm not going to do a video on this. This was just it was on Facebook Marketplace and seemed like a good idea to pick it up. I picked up this poor 420. It's really early 83 420. It has just had the ever-loving crap beat out of it. I don't think that there's a thing on here that's original. It's got some goofy hubs on here. The PTO sheave down here is probably the loosest I've seen in a long time. What takes the cake is the hydraulic oil cooler's gone, so they just wrapped some copper tubing in there, which was hilarious to me. I mean, it's not a great machine, but for the price, it was, you know, I picked it up. You know, I'm gonna take the engine out of it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with everything else yet, but we'll like I said, I'm not gonna do a video on it. That's just something in my spare time. It'll probably just sit outside for a while and not do anything. So, but that's what I've been up to. Here's the racking. I'm kind of excited about this 2-foot racking. The 2-foot racking and beams, these are some newer prices. And I want to say that there's like $800 in that racking right there. So I mean, that's it's kind of funny. Although these are the same beams that are on the 4-foot racking, so the beams are the same price, and that's some of the new stuff is a little bit more expensive. But basically, pallet racking is going up, you know, 30-40%, just like everything else. And so I decided I needed to go ahead and get on the horn and buy it, and you know, get done with it, and just kind of rearrange how I want to do stuff in the you know, at least the preceding, you know, 6 months, or the next 6 months. We'll just have to reorganize some stuff. So that's all I got for you right now. If you got questions, comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching.